Welcome to Seeing Green Solutions for Our Daily Lives, the podcast where we spotlight the brands, ideas, and people making it easier to live sustainably every day. Today's episode is part of our Spotlight series, a deep dive into one of our Seeing Green Solutionists of the day. And now, today's solution.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we sift through all the information you send our way, aiming to bring you the insights that really matter. Today, we're jumping into episode 17 of the Seeing Green Spotlight series. We're taking a closer look at the Seeing Green Solutionist of the day and, the real solutions they bring to help us all be a bit healthier, maybe a bit greener in our daily lives. And hey, if you find yourself enjoying this deep dive, please do consider subscribing to the podcast. You can also follow us at Seeing Green Eco across all the usual social media platforms. Just before we really get started, a quick but important message. We do ask that you please be of legal drinking age in your location to enjoy this content. And as always, please remember to drink responsibly. Okay, let's unpack this then. When you think about sustainability, your mind probably goes straight to, solar panels, electric cars.
Or maybe composting, things like that.
Exactly. But have you ever stopped to consider the environmental footprint of your favorite spirits?
It's really not a topic that comes up that often in, casual conversation.
No, it doesn't. But the spirits industry, well, like many others, it has a surprisingly significant environmental impact when you look closely. Just think about the journey, from the field all the way to the glass. It starts with farming and ingredients.
Right. The land, the water, all the resources needed to grow things like grains, barley, wheat, or fruits, botanicals.
Yeah, vast amounts.
Yeah.
Then there's the production process itself. It's pretty intensive, uses considerable energy for distillation, fermentation, all that crafting.
And just the general energy and water use throughout the whole distillery's operations. It can be immense.
Definitely. And after that, you've got packaging and bottles, the materials, how heavy they are, the journey they take, and finally, the shipping. The logistics of getting that finished product from the distillery to your local store or bar.
It adds up. It really does.
It's quite a lot to consider. And actually, if this topic really sparks your interest, you might want to check out our earlier deep dive on gray whale gin. We explored some really fascinating aspects of sustainable gin production back then.
Yeah, that was a good one. And you've laid out the challenge really well here. What's fascinating, I think, is that sustainable spirits isn't just some marketing buzzword, or just a minor tweak. It's a holistic approach. It's fundamentally rethinking how we produce and consume these drinks. We're talking about alcoholic beverages crafted with ingredients grown responsibly, using production methods that are super efficient and low waste.
Okay.
And packaging in materials that are lighter or recycled or maybe even reusable.
So it's the whole life cycle.
Exactly. But it doesn't stop just at the environmental stuff. It also extends to people emphasizing fair wages, investing in local communities, and committing to pretty ambitious goals like cutting carbon emissions, protecting water resources, and actively restoring natural ecosystems. It's really about delivering quality drinks that truly respect both people and the planet, from the very start to the very finish.
That's a powerful vision, isn't it? Really comprehensive. It highlights the depth of commitment that's actually needed. And today, we're going to dive deep into a company that seems to embody this philosophy beautifully. Ellers Farm Distillery.
Yes, Ellers Farm.
Their story is pretty remarkable, I think. It shows how this vision actually translates into, real action. So let's set the scene a bit. Picture the beautiful rolling countryside of North Yorkshire in the UK.
Lovely part of the world.
It is. That's where you'll find Ellers Farm Distillery. And their origin story is genuinely quite inspiring. It all kicked off back in 2014 with their founder, Chris Fraser. He wasn't initially thinking about launching a distillery, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
No, but he had a real passion for sustainability and apparently a deep dislike for waste. He started by making cider at home.
Right.
Using windfall apples he found in an abandoned orchard nearby. Just, apples going to waste.
So rescuing apples, basically.
Yeah. Those rescued apples were the spark. That simple hobby eventually led him to experiment with apple-based vodka. He got inspired by some obscure spirit he'd tried on his travels in New York.
Wow. From windfall apples to vodka. It's incredible to think that a passion born from, discarded fruit could lead to such a sophisticated distillery.
Yeah.
And a B Corp certified one at that. It really speaks to the power of, one person's vision.
And it does.
That dedication to repurposing and valuing resources right from the start. It seems like it set the whole tone for everything they do now.
Absolutely. So his journey to perfect that recipe, focusing on the apple base, eventually led to them opening their brand new state-of-the-art distillery in January 2022. And get this, it was built from the original design of an old Dutch barn.
Oh, nice touch.
Yeah, feels almost poetic, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Taking something traditional, repurposing it for a completely new, sustainable purpose. So how does that foundational principle, that drive to balance people, planet, and profit, how does that actually get embedded into a business like this?
Yeah, that's the crucial question, isn't it? Because lots of companies say they're sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
but Ellers Farm Distillery's guiding focus seems to have been incredibly clear from day one. Their statement is, we want to balance people, planet, and profit in the most sustainable way. And like you said, this isn't just a nice-sounding mission statement tucked away somewhere. It seems genuinely embedded into every single aspect of their operations.
And the B Corp status backs that up.
Exactly. A major testament to this commitment is their B Corp certification, which they got in September 2023. Now, for listeners who might not be familiar, B Corp certification means they've gone through a really rigorous review by the nonprofit B Lab. That's an independent third party.
Okay.
This process measures their social and environmental performance across, everything. How they treat their workers, engage with customers, their impact on the community, the environment, the lot.
So it covers all bases.
Pretty much. It's essentially a seal of approval that shows they're genuinely walking the talk. They're committing to higher standards of transparency and accountability. And their overall B impact score, it was 81.5. That's significantly above the median score for ordinary businesses, which is, frankly, a real achievement for a company of their size and relatively young age.
That B Corp certification really does act as a robust external check, doesn't it? Tells you it's not just marketing spin or greenwashing.
Precisely.
So, okay, with that commitment to balancing people, planet, and profit firmly in mind, how does it physically show up in what they're actually putting in their bottles? Where do they start with that sustainable craft?
Well, like with any great product, food or drink, it all begins with the ingredients, what goes in. And for Ellers Farm, that starts literally in their own backyard. They cultivate their own orchard right next to the distillery. Now, this isn't just a few trees in the corner. No, they planted 361 apple trees, 28 different varieties. They did this back in February 2023. And 12 of those varieties are actually native to Yorkshire.
Wow, 361 trees. So it's not just about sourcing their main ingredient then.
Not at all. It's about creating a genuinely biodiverse habitat, something that really benefits the local ecosystem. And of course, yes, it provides the primary ingredient for their spirits.
So it's more than just a farm. It's like a living ecosystem designed to give back. I found that concept quite compelling, them viewing their orchard not just as a farm, but as a biodiversity offset. Can you unpack that a little for us?
Yeah, absolutely. A biodiversity offset is basically a strategic conservation action. It's designed to compensate for unavoidable impacts on biodiversity that might happen elsewhere, maybe through their operations or supply chain, though they aim to minimize those too.
Right.
So in Ellers Farm's case, by actively restoring and creating this really rich habitat, they're essentially creating a little sanctuary that gives back to the land. It enhances local biodiversity rather than depleting it.
Right, that makes sense.
And this direct connection to their raw materials, it significantly helps them reduce their overall land footprint. They actually quantified this 45 hectares in 2023 for all their raw materials, which is incredibly significant when you think that typically about 90% of a business's water footprint is tied up in agricultural sourcing.
90%.
Yeah. So by growing their own and restoring local land, they're actively working to minimize that impact right at the source.
And it goes beyond just the orchard itself, doesn't it? I heard they've done a lot to restore the land immediately around the distillery, too.
Yes, it's definitely a comprehensive approach. They've transformed 3 hectares of what was surrounding scrubland. They're actively restoring local habitats there.
What kind of things?
Well, planting mixed native woodland, creating grasslands, establishing a wildlife pond. They've even installed things like owl boxes and swift boxes, just nurturing the entire ecosystem right there around their distillery.
That's fantastic.
It's a really powerful example of integrating environmental stewardship directly into their business model, not just as an afterthought.
It's clear they're starting strong with ingredients and land management. But, okay, this raises an important question. How do these meticulously sourced, locally grown ingredients translate into sustainable production inside the distillery itself. Because crafting spirits, as we said, is notoriously energy intensive.
Indeed it is. And this is where Ellers Farm, I think, truly distinguishes itself again. Many competitors, they might outsource the crafting of their ethanol, that's the base alcohol.
Right.
Especially from something like apples. It streamlines production for them, maybe makes their own environmental claims seem easier on paper. But Ellers Farm, they've chosen to embrace this responsibility wholeheartedly. They craft much of their own ethanol from apples right there on site, despite it being, yes, an energy-intensive step. Their vodka-making process is a pretty fascinating example. They ferment the apple juice into cider first, takes about 72 hours, gets to about 12% ABV.
Right.
Then they distill that heated apple spirit over 70 times.
70 times.
Yes. Through 70 individual distillation plates. They even have these custom-built stills, apparently nicknamed Magic Mike, Granny Smith, and Crystal.
Great names.
Aren't they? And Crystal, the last one, it's specifically designed to reduce methanol levels, which is especially important given they use a fruit and also a potato spirit base. They blend that apple spirit with potato spirit too, aiming for a really balanced, creamy mouthfeel. Their goal, they say, is to make the best possible vodka in the world.
70 distillations through 70 plates. Okay, for someone just picturing a simple pot still, that sounds incredibly complex. And frankly, very energy intensive.
Yeah.
Is that truly the most sustainable approach? Or is there a trade-off happening here for quality?
That's a really sharp question. And it highlights their deep commitment, I think. While it is energy intensive, they've made remarkable strides in mitigating that impact. They've put in some really innovative efficiency measures.
Like what?
Well, for example, they reuse an astonishing 98% of their processed water.
98%. Wow.
Yeah, and they use these massive heat exchangers, capturing and reusing heat throughout the whole distillation process. And this focus led to an incredible 51% efficiency improvement in energy consumption in 2023 alone.
51% in 1 year.
Yep, reducing it to just 5.7 kilowatt hours per liter of pure alcohol. That was down from 11.7 in 2022. Now, that's not just a number. It means they've nearly halved the energy required to produce each liter of pure alcohol in just 12 months.
That's huge.
It really is. It sets an incredibly ambitious benchmark for the whole industry, frankly. And it proves that significant gains are possible with focused innovation.
That's seriously impressive. Having energy use in a year is no small feat at all.
Yeah.
And what about their overall energy sourcing? Is it green?
It's another area where they really excel. They exclusively use renewable electricity.
Okay, 100%.
100%, which results in zero Scope 2 carbon emissions. Now, just for clarity, Scope 2 emissions, those are the indirect ones that come from generating the electricity, steam, heat, or cooling that a company buys.
Yeah.
So by using only renewables, they just eliminate that entire category. They've also committed to having their direct operations emissions, that's Scope 1 and 2, by 2030, and achieving net zero across all scopes, which includes their entire value chain, suppliers right through to consumers, by 2040.
Wow.
These are very ambitious targets, far beyond what many others in the industry are even, considering right now.
It's clear they really thought through what goes into the bottle and how it's made sustainably. But as we often see, the bottle itself can be a massive part of the environmental footprint. How's Ellers Farm tackling that challenge?
This is where they've done something truly game-changing, I think. Their main product, the Dutch Barn Orchard vodka, it comes in this iconic brown bottle.
Yeah, I've seen it. It stands out.
It does. And it's literally changing the status quo for premium spirits packaging. For starters, it's made from a minimum of 68% recycled glass content.
That's good.
But here's the kicker. It's 40% lighter than the average spirit bottle.
40%.
Yep. Weighs just 550 grams compared to a typical hefty 900 grams. This design choice alone, they calculate, has helped them avoid 208 tons of CO2 emissions to date.
Just from the lighter bottle.
Just from the lighter bottle. That's roughly like taking, about 45 passenger cars off the road for a whole year?
That's incredible.
And to further minimize their footprint, these bottles travel less than 60 miles from their manufacturer, who's based in Sheffield, keeping it local.
That's a fascinating double win then. So
Yeah.
It's dramatically cutting carbon emissions from weight and transport and reducing waste. But I heard a surprising fact about that brown glass actually protecting the flavor too. It really challenges that old perception that sustainable automatically means compromise, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. There was actually a study they commissioned with the University of York, And it showed that the brown glass does protect the vodka's flavor better than standard clear glass.
Oh, who knew?
Right. So it's genuinely a win for the planet and a win for product quality. They're not stopping there with packaging innovation, though. No, they've also introduced these lightweight alumini bottles, little 5 cl ones.
Ah, the mini ones.
Exactly. Made from 100% recycled European aluminum. These are perfect for travel retail. You can even find them on EasyJet flights now.
Really?
Yeah. These aluminis, they're 90% lighter than the equivalent glass mini bottle, and they're infinitely recyclable. So that significantly cuts waste and shipping emissions, especially important for air travel.
That's incredibly smart for the travel sector, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about their bigger customers? Like bars and restaurants who go through a lot more volume.
They've got that covered too.
Yeah.
For their on-trade customers, so yeah, bars and restaurants, they launched a 10-liter poly packaging system back in April 2023.
Poly? Like a bag-in-box type thing?
Sort of, but designed to be highly reusable and efficient for bar service. It's not just a big container, it's a refillable and reusable option. One 10-liter polypack can replace 14.3 standard glass bottles.
Wow.
So think about the waste reduction. By using this, bars avoid nearly 8 kilograms, 7.85 kilograms of glass waste per pack. And they reduce the carbon footprint, the CO2e, by a staggering 91% per refill compared to just using single-use bottles over and over.
91% reduction. That's huge for high-volume places.
Hugely impactful, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in those high-volume environments.
Okay, the packaging solutions are incredibly inventive, really thinking outside the bottle. But what about the actual waste generated from the distillation process itself? You mentioned apples. There must be quite a bit of pulp and leftover juice.
That's another area where their commitment to a kind of circular economy really shines through. Beyond the physical packaging, their focus on waste management is clear in their research and development, too. They're actively exploring ways to turn the alcohol-free stewed apple juice waste, the stuff left after distillation, into a natural, slow-release fertilizer. It's called struvite.
Struvite.
Yeah. They're doing this in partnership with the University of York's Biorenewables Development Center.
Okay, and what exactly is struvite? Why is that innovative?
Well, struvite is essentially a crystalline mineral. It's magnesium ammonium phosphate. Basically, it's a really powerful and sustainable source of nutrients for plants.
Oh, okay.
It's innovative because it takes what would otherwise just be a waste product, something potentially difficult to dispose of, and transforms it into a valuable resource. It significantly reduces the need for synthetic chemical fertilizers, which, as you know, have their own pretty hefty environmental footprint to produce and use.
Right, so closing the loop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's still in the early stages, the struvite project, but their goal is to fully utilize all their apple waste in a completely circular process by 2030, which would also directly reduce greenhouse gas emissions by displacing that traditional fertilizer production.
It's easy to get wrapped up in all the impressive numbers around environmental impact, the energy savings, the waste reduction. Wow. But Ellers Farm's balanced philosophy, it clearly extends beyond just the planet, doesn't it? What about the people aspect of their operations? You mentioned that earlier.
You're absolutely right. Their people focus seems just as robust and just as genuine. For instance, Ellers Farm offers a unique employee profit share model.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they distribute 20% of the company's profits directly back to the employees.
That's significant.
It is. They also pay the real living wage in the UK. That's the one calculated based on the actual cost of living, not just the government minimum wage.
Important distinction.
Very. And they have this program called Climate Positive Workforce. All employees benefit from a climate action subscription through this. This initiative has already funded over 50 different climate projects around the world and planted more than 8,800 trees. That's funded through the employee subscriptions and also through people signing up for their newsletter.
So it connects employees directly to positive global action.
Exactly. It feels like a genuine commitment to their team and also to the wider global community. It really completes that people, planet, profits picture.
Ellers Farm Distillery truly shows, I think, that you don't have to compromise on quality, or enjoyment for that matter, to make profoundly sustainable choices. Their comprehensive commitment, really balancing people, planet, and profit in seemingly every aspect of their business, from that carefully cultivated orchard right through to the innovative lightweight packaging. It offers a really powerful blueprint for others, doesn't it?
It really does, a template almost.
Yeah. They really challenge us to reconsider what's possible for an entire industry. They show that radical responsibility can actually drive remarkable innovation. It makes you wonder, What other industries do you think could benefit most from this kind of deep dive into their own processes, pushing for such, well, radical responsibility?
That's a great question to ponder. So many could.
Something for us all to think about. Anyway, to learn more about Ellers Farm Distillery, you can visit them online at ellersfarmdistillery.com. And please, do remember, drink responsibly. Interested in finding more brands and innovators like Ellers Farm who are dedicated to creating a greener, more sustainable world? Well, please subscribe to this Seeing Green podcast. Then maybe visit the Seeing Green website. You can see more trailblazers making significant strides in promoting eco-friendly living through innovative products, solutions, and practices. That's online at www.seeinggreen.eco. And of course, follow us at Seeing Green Eco across your favorite social media channels. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Seeing Green Spotlight Series podcast.